Hello and welcome, I'm Alas Garajuk and you're watching Head to Head with UATV. Today we're talking about the vocal competition called 2220 International Music Festival, the final of which has been held in Kyiv recently. The goal of the competition is to bring young Ukrainian talented singers to the world market. To talk more about this festival and the cooperation between Ukraine and the United States, we welcome to our studio today Bryan Todd, an American Grammy-nominated multi-platinum record producer and songwriter. Hello and thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you in this studio. So, Mr. Todd, could you please tell us a bit more about this festival? How big and how important is it, and what is it actually about?
Well, I think it's very important to bring kids up, from an early age into the market and give them the tools that they need. We had a lot of different age groups. I think we had as young as like 9, 10 years old up till like 22 years old.
Up to 22?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So kids and youngsters.
Exactly.
This is interesting.
And I've had, in my background, I've had a lot of time working on projects for Disney and Nickelodeon in the U.S. And I've worked with a lot of teen stars, Ashley Tisdale, who is big from High School Musical. So I've had a lot of experience in that, and I love to give back to to the kids.
That is nice. And I was actually, when I was preparing for the interview, I read that you wrote songs for Miley Cyrus, for Jordan Sparks, for Kelly Clarkson, and for Ukrainian performer Jamala, which is a very interesting fact. Is this the reason why you came to Ukraine?
Yeah, we had the connection with Jamala. That was very cool. That came through Tatiana, who's putting together our 2220 festival in Addis. And we had met Jamala and really liked what she was doing. Obviously, we knew her from Eurovision as well. And they were looking for this kind of cool, new, edgy sound, and they wanted to go more Western with it. So it was a great opportunity, and we love the song that we did, Solo, which is performing very well, went to #7 in the UK. In the UK, which is exciting.
Because it's very popular in Ukraine as well.
Yeah, it's very popular. Yeah, people said, oh, I heard the song in the taxi the other day and things like that. So yeah, so all those things had kind of led us to Kyiv, and I think this was our first international music festival under 2220, but I think it's the first of many. So you're the one who is spreading the Western taste around Ukraine with the Ukrainian artists. This is nice. But speaking of this festival, does this mean that right after your participation in the festival, you are a star, or the kid is a star, or that 22-year-old student, so to say, is a star? I think it's the first step. But obviously, to be a star, especially a global star, there are multiple, things you need to do to get to the goal. So I think it's the first of many, and I think it gives them a real opportunity, which is important. It's not, kind of just like something like, oh, I won a festival, now what? But I think it gives them tools. But then it's up to them to really work hard and put in everything they need to do to go from like step A to step Z, So this is the singing competition. Yes, that's right.
Could you tell us a bit, how is it being held? How is it happening?
Well, we had people submit. They submitted like auditions and things like that. And from there, we whittled, the numbers down until we came up with our final. We had 37 that made it through to the finals. We had,
37 participants of the concert.
That actually came in, sang in front of us. But from there, we had, a couple hundred or hundreds of people send stuff in. But we, it was an audition. That was like an audition tape.
As far as I understand, that was the online selection.
That's correct, yeah.
So you were watching these videos of people singing?
Yes. Was
that exciting?
Yeah, it's interesting.
Or sometimes funny?
Yeah, it can be. If you've ever seen other shows, Idol, The Voice, some people are, put it out there and,
sometimes people put funny stuff.
Yeah.
So you had 37 participants.
That's right.
Were there only Ukrainians, or were there also contestants from the other countries?
Moldova, I think, came down, which was cool. And like I said, this was our first, so our hope is to grow it so we have people coming in from many countries. Yeah.
This was the first festival.
This was the first international festival collaboration that we did under the 2220 International, yeah. Yeah.
So what was the most exciting for you during this festival? What kind of message are you flying away with from Ukraine?
Yeah. First of all, there's a lot of talent in the Ukraine.
Thank you.
Yeah, very much so.
As everywhere else.
As everywhere, but it's, it is on par with, you know, if I went to a talent competition in America. I mean, they really, you know, put their life and passion into it, which was very fun to see. So that was one of the #1 things. And then everyone was so friendly and, you know, in a positive, happy mood. Everybody was excited to be there. So I think that's cool to see that they have passion behind it, you know.
This is very nice.
Yeah.
And could you tell us then what motivates these contestants to compete? What are the prizes? Who is among the jury?
What are the prizes for? Yeah. I mean, the prizes are that they get to come out into our studios in LA and Nashville and record a song. And hopefully, again, that doesn't automatically make them a star, but it is a first big step in taking them towards, I think, their dreams.
But who writes that song for them?
I will write it. Addis Eminich, who co-wrote Jamala's solo with me, he will be a writer. We'll assemble a team of people. I work with people who have written songs for, you know, the Backstreet Boys and Beyonce and Rihanna. So I have, you know,
very exciting.
Big writers we can bring in.
So basically, these kids have a chance to produce a song with the professionals who are working with the top celebrities in the world.
Absolutely.
This is so cool.
Yeah.
Who launched this festival? Who had this idea, and how did you guys create it? How did you gather all this jury team, or somebody gathered you?
Yeah, so Addis Eminich, he came back in earlier this year and met with Tatiana at Roar Productions, and so they started talking about the festival, and we collaborated together on it. And that's the time that they also met with Jamala's team. So everything started kind of growing at the same time. Yeah, so that's kind of how we got to here, and then we said, hey, let's really make this something, you know, like a top level festival, and it happened, which was amazing. You know, yesterday it's cool to see something like you have it in your mind, right? And then it's like yesterday it actually was there. We could, you know, touch it and feel it, and it was a real thing. So that's always exciting.
This is really nice. And could you tell us then, how did you come up with the conditions of this festival? What are the terms of this participation? Because if we're speaking about kids, do they have to write their own songs? And do they have to write these songs in English so you guys can understand and judge properly? Or can this be some kind of cover?
It needs to be an original song, but we don't put the pressure back on them. I mean, not all artists, even at A level, write all their own songs. You know, Ariana Grande doesn't write every song she has, you know. So we give them...
That would be too many to write, I believe.
We will help them. Like I said, we have... we are writers and producers, and so we write with them. If they do want to write, we basically encourage that. I would love them to be able to write, and then we help them find their way, but we don't put it back on them. It's not like they have to, oh, you have to write the song, and then we just like produce it. But it's all original. It would be original music, and it would be in English as well, because obviously it needs to be in English if it's going to be Western and global.
Yeah, I understand. And then how does the competition go? Do you divide these contestants by the categories, or maybe how do you select the winners? And how many winners do you have? Because you said that the winner can produce one song with you. So we're talking just about one winner, or we're talking about first, second, third place, maybe some other nominations?
So we broke it down by age category. We had age group 1, age group 2, and age group 3. And that was by, you know, the 9 to 11-year-old, and then the 12 to 15, and the 15 to 22, you know. So we broke it down by ages. And then in each category, there was 3 winners, top winners that get the fully song produced. And then there was a second and third place, like if they had a song and they want us to look at it or critique it, we could do that too. So there was different, you know, categories of winners, but the top in each age category gets a fully produced song. Yeah.
So basically, this means that if we have four categories, then three categories, excuse me, then there are going to be three performers, new performers, to produce songs with the songwriters and producers, record producers from the United States, right?
Yes, yes. Mm-hmm.
This is exciting. If we're speaking about your cooperation with Jamala's team, could you tell us a bit more how do American songwriters view the Ukrainian show business and maybe Ukrainian music? Maybe you can tell us a few words about this. And how did you find your way, or how did Jamala find her way to cooperate with you?
Yeah, I mean, it was through some mutual, you know, collaborations. Like I said, Addis Eminich, who I work with, and he's wrote on Jamala's song. He came and met with her. So that's kind of how we got a connection. It was through Eurovision as well. Addis had taken place in the competition this year with a group, and I've been involved in Eurovision before. So we were aware of Jamala and her winning Eurovision. And so we thought that she had what it would take to go into the Western world and be big in the UK and the US. And so we were like, hey, let's try
something.
Yeah, let's try it, you know? You have to experiment all the time in music to see, okay, this works and this is how we get from here to there, you know?
Is this your first time cooperating with a Ukrainian performer?
Yes, yeah. I mean,
with Jamala.
Yeah, with Jamala, yeah.
So, just to sum up our conversation, a few words about Ukrainian music. Maybe you've heard some.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, Jamala is really my first experience in you know, hearing Ukrainian music. But yeah, I mean, I think she's great. And like some of the things that I've heard since I've been here have been great. So I feel like there is a way for it to cross over. I think it's, you know, through someone like myself, like an American producer, bringing in some of that flavor and mixing it. And I think it could be really exciting. I think that could be a lot of hits made, you know, global hits from you know, Ukrainian performers.
That would be great. And if you said that this festival, 2220 International Music Festival, this was the first time of its occurring in the Ukrainian capital, do you plan on holding and organizing this festival and maybe participating as a judge next year?
Yes, absolutely. It's all in the plans, so we're excited about it.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your interesting comments, and hopefully we're going to see you in this studio in a year when you will come back to Kiev.
Sounds amazing. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. That was Bryan Todd, American record producer and songwriter. Thank you for watching Head to Head. I'm Oles Garajuk. Goodbye.